Surah Al Falaq last week. We'll do Nas, last times. It actually took us 2 weeks to finish it, but we did previously Surah Al Falaq, so now we'll do inshallah Surah Al Naas. Briefly, since we already referred to it quite a lot while we were doing Falaq. So we'll just try to go through that shortly and leave time as well for Surah Al Adiyat as well today, since that was also requested. And then inshallah after that I'll choose something from the longer surah, some passage. Okay, so أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. Has been translated into English here. Say, I seek the protection of the Lord of humans, sovereign of humans, God of humans. It sounds a bit strange in English. Yes. Nas as humans. Yes. It's not a very common expression. Yes. From the evil of the sneaky tempter, min sharri al-waswas al-khannas, who puts temptations into the breast of humans from among the jinn and humans. So we already talked, of course, previously about isti'adah, about the benefit of seeking refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and why we do it, and what it means, and what is the power of shaitan, and can he, take control. And we talked about the waswasa. So a lot of these things that would be discussed here, we already referred to them earlier when we talked about قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. So of course, just as a quick recap, the primary benefit of isti'adah was, of course, it served as a reminder to me that what I am facing now as a temptation from shaitan, that it makes me realize that what I'm about to do is something wrong. And that realization in and of itself is very important. So it's a reminder to myself of what I'm facing, as we have in the dua, Allahumma arini al-haqqa haqqan fa'attabi'ah wal-batila batilan fa'ajtanibah. Oh Lord, show me the truth as truth so I may follow it, and the falsehood as falsehood so I may stay away from it. So knowing that this is a sin, knowing that this is a temptation from shaitan, that's already the major part of the battle has been won then. The true, of course, dalala, the true misguidance comes when we don't realize that we're misguided, that we don't realize we're off the true path. So seeking refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the Lord of the Nas, Rabbun Nas, He is the Malikun Nas, He is the sovereign of the king of the Nas, and Ilahin Nas, the God of the Nas. So here, three sort of attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are referred to: the Rububiyyah, the Malikiyyah, and the Ilahiyyah. So Rububiyyah meaning that, of course, all affairs are in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is, when we talked about Surah Taha, and we talked about Allah being the Lord who is established on the throne, we talked about this meaning of the Rububiyyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He has not just created and that, but He is constantly managing the affairs of His creation. He is the Lord that is always present. So we know that everything is in the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that if He wants to take us, save us from some sort of evil, it's always within His power. Yeah. So He is not incapable of preventing that harm from befalling us. And of course, the Malikiyya, the ownership of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over everything. So we know that everything that is in this world belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, we ascribe things to belong to ourselves, but it's not true ownership. So our ownership is sort of the ascribed ownership or the claimed ownership, but it's not the true ownership. In essence, everything, we could say in other words, is borrowed to us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mm-hmm. We just hold on to it as an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't really belong to us. So He is the owner of all these things.
Yeah. Like this protection, like when we say we seek protection from our Lord, from the evils by our Lord. like is this
The evils of
from any evil, like
yeah.
dua, like, but does he provide protection by increasing our understanding or showing some signs, or is it some sort of specific protection? Or
yeah. So of course, we said the primary benefit of isti'adha was that we understand ourselves. But of course, in addition to that, isti'adha is a dua as well. We're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us, to help us overcome this evil. Yeah. So here, of course, it's the reminder here that He's the Rabb. We're reminding ourselves. So this, when I'm seeking protection, I'm not seeking protection from Hamad, who may or may not help me, may or not be capable of helping me. Yeah. But when I seek protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is Rabbul Nas. He is the one who is capable of doing everything. Yeah? So it's all in His control. If He wants to save me, He can save me, of course. But then the second part comes into play is the Malikiyya. So sometimes, of course, we feel that I lost something, and this must have been from Shaitan, and so on and so forth. So this helps me remind myself, that actually the Malik of everything is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The feeling of sadness that I feel when I lost something is unrequited. It's not deserved that I should feel that way, because I was never truly the owner of that thing. So it was just borrowed to me. So if I borrow you, my book, and then a year later I come and say, give me back my book, should you feel sad that, he's come and gotten it, even if you were enjoying it and you were having a good time reading it, etc. No, I had the right to come and take it back,
Yes.
So it's never yours. You shouldn't feel that sadness as well.
Yeah.
So this also helps us cope again with the loss. Yeah. And the Ilahi Nas, the Ilahiyya, which is, of course, we mentioned earlier in one of our lectures that the literal meaning of Ilah is the one who deserves to be worshipped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So He is the God of humans, the only one who we should be worshipping, and any other worship that we perform, anything else that we submit ourselves to, that's a type of shirk. So if I worship my desires, if I worship the wealth of this world, if I worship so and so, this is all a type of shirk. So when I'm seeking isti'adha with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm seeking with the one who is the only one I should be worshipping. Actually, He is the only one that I should be submitting to. So aside from material possessions, which we mentioned in Maliki, also all the other things that I might desire. People might criticize me, or I might lose my face, or my status, or my name, etc. All of this, it shouldn't be important if I'm doing it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these all, of course, serve us as reminders, and sort of, as we say in English, a reality check. It's a reality check. Okay, what's really important? What's actually of value in my life? And helps us deal with those difficult times when we come to them. And then you can think.
I don't understand. Okay, I understand Ilah, maybe God means over here that one who is worthy of being worshipped. But what's the difference between Rabb and Malik?
So Rabb is the one who oversees the affairs. He is guiding everything. He's like the manager in a store. Malik is the owner of the store. So someone might be a Malik and not be a Rabb, or someone might be a Rabb and might be a Malik. So you can be the manager of a store, but you might not be the owner, or you might be the owner, or might not be managing it.
Yes.
But sometimes you can be the manager and the owner. So He is both the manager, He is both the owner, He is both the one, and He's also the one who is the only one we should be submitting to, the only leader, so to speak, the only one we should be taking orders from, the only one we should be lowering ourselves in front of.
Okay. Is it like when somebody adopts a son, and there is a real father?
Maybe I'd stick to the store manager example. It's more clear. So you're managing the store, you're running its day-to-day affairs, you're in charge of everything. You decide what happens, but you might not be the owner.
Yeah.
Or then you're both the owner and the manager. You own everything; it all belongs to you, etc.
It's like the CEO with 100%.
With 100% shareholder. Yes. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You're using the word Malik, and here it's Malik. These are the same?
Okay, of course, Malik literally means king, but they have the same sort of essence to them of ownership, of being the ruler over something. So the whole Quran by very back. yes, of course, the idea in sort of monarchy is that everything belongs to the king. Isn't it? So if he wants to take your house and your land from you, he has the right to do that. So the Malik is maybe a stage higher than Malik, the owner. So he's the. It comes back to that sort of meaning that I referred to, that the ownership of others is by proxy or by sort of just being ascribed to them. You know, so you might have some land and you might be the lord of your land, but there is the Malik, he's the king, he's the true owner. So if he wants to take it away from you, he has the right to seize that land. Okay. Yeah?
But both are Arabic words, Malik and Malik.
Yes, they both are Arabic. Yeah. Malik meaning the king, the sovereign, the true owner, and Malik meaning the owner. Yeah. So maybe one is more emphatic.
So should we read this as Malik? Malik.
Malik, okay. Sura Al Naas. Okay. من شر الوسواس الخناس, from the evil of the sneaky tempter. We already talked about the meaning of waswasa when we talked about the meaning of isti'adha, the sort of whispers of shaitan, to tempting you, to bringing ideas into your mind about things that you might not have thought of before, teaching you the ways of sinning. So this, of course, can be the work of Iblis, or it can be the work. This is why bad friends are so dangerous, isn't it? Because they'll teach you ways to do sins that you never would have thought of yourself. It never would have occurred to you that, I could have done this, etc. So this sort of whispering temptation that draws us away from the righteous path. And khannas comes from khunus, which literally means to withdraw or go back. So the evil of the whisperer who withdraws, who sort of goes away. When does he go away? When you do the isti'adha. So as we said, saying the isti'adha, that's already half the battle won, isn't it? So by saying it, this already strikes fear into the heart of shaitan, because his method is through the sneakiness of attacking us from where we don't see him. إِنَّهُ وَجُنُودَهُ يَرَوْنَكُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُمْ. Something like, I think I'm misremembering it, but something like that, the verse in the Quran, that he and his armies see you from where you do not see them. So they're coming from sort of, their main weapon is this sneak attack, this surprise, that they come at you without you realizing that they're coming. The idea comes to you and you don't realize it comes from shaitan. So when you do realize that it came from shaitan, when you do say the isti'adha, you've already won half the battle. You've identified the enemy. You know who you're fighting against. And that's already, so when you say the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you say a'udhu billahi, then the shaitan withdraws. This is the waswas al-khannas. By mentioning the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he withdraws away. We have a narration from Sadiq alayhi salam that he says, when the verse was revealed, he says, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. And those who, when they commit a sin or they do wrong towards themselves, they remember Allah and they sort of ask forgiveness for their sin. So when this verse was revealed, Iblis went up on a mountain on Mecca and he gathered all his armies and he asked them, who can help me overcome this dreadful verse? So he was frightened of this verse, that the verse that said that when you do a sin, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, and of course Allah will forgive you. He said, this is a terrible verse, how can I take people to hell? It's just by remembering that they've done something wrong and they remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they ask forgiveness, Allah will forgive them. Yeah?
I want to ask that, is it so that he whispers to our ear to do a sin and we don't realize it, or we don't realize that it is a sin to do it?
I don't understand the difference.
We don't understand that he whispers to us, okay? So we don't realize that he whispers, or we don't realize that he whispers a sin.
You think?
You don't think that this is sin. Which one he does?
Yeah.
Does he whispers sin into our ear?
Yes.
Or he whispers something into our ear and we don't realize it is a sin? Or do we realize it?
I don't know.
It's like, no, I understand it
Yeah.
completely. It's like if I do something haram but I do not realize it is haram, then afterwards maybe I realize, oh, that was wrong. So
Yeah.
she says, is that one part of like...
Yeah, but
like
that's what
he
I
says,
said.
it's
That's
not
what
a
I
sin,
was
yeah.
saying all the time. That by knowing that it's a sin, by understanding that it's from shaitan, we already
So
won't
we
have
do
to act.
understand that this is a sin. But
Not
we
always, of course not always. But when we say the isti'adha, by saying a'udhu billah, that, oh my God, this is a sin actually. I shouldn't be doing this. That moment of realization, when it comes, doesn't always come, of course. But when you're saying a'udhu billah, it means you've understood that this is a sin, isn't it?
Mm.
When you're doing this isti'adha, you've understood that this was an attack from shaitan. So by realizing, of course, that's as I said, the major weapon of his, that he comes in a sneaky way that we don't understand he's even whispering to us. We just, this is a good idea. We justify it to ourselves. Or we don't think about it at that moment. We just, go in the heat of the moment or so on and so forth. So by identifying that situation, by sort of understanding what's going on, you've already won the major part of the battle.
Mm.
Of course, sometimes you fail even if you know that it's a sin. But, many times more than that, we don't even realize what we're doing is a sin. Yeah?
But if you don't realize it, that it's not that what I'm doing is a right thing, it's not a wrong thing, or it's a sin, then maybe the punishment may be lower or something.
Of course, yes. If it's truly what we say is the one who is sort of ignorant without it being his fault. Then yes, then he wouldn't be, of course, blamed for that. So if I didn't know that this was a sin, there's different levels to that statement, of course, So I drink I eat chocolate and I didn't know it had alcohol in it, And then I found, I tasted, it was alcohol in it, Or I found it afterwards or something. Did I commit a sin? No, because I wasn't intentionally doing that. Or sometimes, I was simply ignorant of a ruling, I didn't know that this is how I'm supposed to do it, or, I assumed it's like this my whole life, and then I found out, okay, it has to be like, I always thought, okay, you do wudu this way, and then later I found, you have to do it that way, So yes, if we're ignorant about some things, but then also we have a responsibility, of course, so there are some things that we can't plead ignorance to, isn't it? Some things that are clear instructions of our religion, that even if we didn't know, we had the duty to find out. So there's levels to that. It's a nuanced, more of a nuanced discussion that I don't think we have time for now. But let's continue with this narration. So when this verse was revealed, وَالَّذِينَ فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. So when they do something evil, they remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have a hadith from Sadiq alayhi salam that Iblis went up the mountain of Mecca and he gathered all his armies and he asked them to overcome this sort of dreadful verse, and a few suggestions were made. Okay, you can do this, you can do that. He rejected them. And then came al-waswas al-khannas, the sort of sneaky temper that is mentioned in this verse. So this is like, according to the narration, the name of that jinn was al-waswas, or the attribute that he was described with, al-waswas al-khannas. And he made a suggestion that I will make them busy with desiring the goods of this life, so they forget to do this. So the problem here was in the verse that, if you did a sin, then you remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you made istighfar, Allah will forgive it and wipe away that sin. This was the fear of shaitan, of Iblis. So then he says, okay, I'll keep them so busy with the dunya and with the affairs of this world and following the desire that they'll forget to do this istighfar. So problem solved, isn't it? So as we said, the main battle here, of course, the main battleground is the ignorance. So when we identify that I've committed this sin, I know that I'm doing something wrong, I've already won half that battle. الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ, who puts temptations into the breasts of men. Of course, sudur here, the breast or the chest, the innermost thing of a person. So, of course, whisper, not as in the whisper that we would actually audibly hear, but isn't it the one that is in your heart? is in your soul, so to speak. And of course that emphasizes the fact, again, that it is very hidden type of whisper. So even a whisper, someone who's close enough by can hear it, can discern that these two people are whispering. But this is so hidden that even if you're right next to the person, you won't be able to hear it. Even it's your own heart, you might not notice it. So the emphasis here, of course, being to us that reminding ourselves to look into ourselves and sort of examine ourselves. Is the shaitan doing this waswasa to me? And it's so hidden and so secret, in fact, that sometimes we mix and confuse the whisperings of shaitan to our own thoughts. We think this is my own idea, this is my own thought, but in fact it had come from shaitan. Of course, hidden within our soul is a part of our soul which is the nafsul ammara, to bisu, the soul which commands evil. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقَنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا يُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. That certainly we have created man and we know what his own soul whispers to himself. So even our own soul can command us to evil, can whisper to us. It can have that evil satanic influence isn't it? So that's why Allah swears by the other side of that soul. لَا أُقْسِمُ بِنَفْسِ اللَّوَّامَةِ. No, I swear by the soul which blames itself. So the soul which, as the verse we had, when it commits sin, when it does a mistake, it remembers Allah and it seeks forgiveness. It looks inside itself and says, no, I did something wrong. You commanded me, you meaning myself, commanded me to do something evil. I want to not do that. I want to regret that. No, I seek refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from this evil temptations. Yeah, we have a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ما من مؤمن إلا ولقلبه في صدره أذنان. That there is no believer except that in the heart which is in his chest there are two ears. أذن ينفث فيها الملك. One ear in which angel sort of breathes into or whispers into. وأذن ينفث فيها الوسواس الخناس. And the other one into which the waswas al-khannas whispers. فَيُؤَيِّدُ اللَّهُ الْمُؤْمِنَ بِالْمَلِكِ. And Allah will aid the believer with the angel. وَقَوْلُهُ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى وَأَيَّدَهُمْ بِرُوحٍ مِّنْ. And He will aid them by a ruh from Him. So, as we said, the split in the soul between the evil aspect of the soul and the good aspect of the soul. The nafsul ammara bisu, the nafsul lawwama, the malik and the waswasul khannas, however we might want to describe these things. This draw that we have in ourselves, the draw that draws us towards sin and desires, and the draw that draws us towards, the pull that draws us towards righteousness and towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is of course a theme that comes up a lot in the Quran, in many different surahs, where Allah talks about the soul and how both of these sort of aspects have been created in the soul. And the surah ends with min al-jinnati wan-nas, and a reminder, of course, in the end that the shayateen, the Iblis and his followers are not only from the jinn but from mankind as well. So being careful with, of course, what kind of people we surround ourselves with, and a reminder that some people are, this sort of a satanic influence, or followers of shaitan. The hizb shaitan, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls them. From them, we seek refuge from the fitnas that they spread, from the problems that they create, from if you go back to the previous surah, by the words that they speak out of jealousy and sort of hatred and all these other evil emotions, greed, to spread, sort of evil amongst the believers and evil, create adversity and create infighting and create problems amongst people. So we seek refuge from all of that, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from the temptations of our own soul and the temptations of the waswas al-khannas. بركة الصلوات على محمد
Why did... Okay, I understand that the evil, the shaitan whispers evil into our ears and brings evil thoughts and waswas. But then why did God even create our evil within our souls, inside our souls as well? I mean, should have created, okay, then He doesn't create evil, but He created an evil within our soul.
Yeah, so this is of course free will that we have, gives us the choice to do good or evil. We talked about that before as well, isn't it? That it wouldn't be true free will if we didn't have the choice to do evil. So that, of course, desire to do evil is the free will that we have to do evil. It's I have the choice to do this. I could do this if I wanted to. That I could, that I have the option, isn't it? That's the sort of the draw, the pull towards evil that we're talking about. Not that, of course, it's metaphorical language, and not that literally, we have a need to do evil, like we have the need to drink water or the need to sleep or something. In that way, it's pulling us. No, but the fact that I have this option, I could do this thing. I find a wallet. Okay. Oh, there's some money. I could easily put the money and return the wallet and say I found this choice that I have there. Not that anything is forcing me to do that, but because I have the choice to do that, it's pulling me towards doing that. If I found the wallet empty, there was no money, then there was never any pull in it, because there was never any choice. So the pull wouldn't have been there. But once the pull comes in, because you have the choice to do it, then it's like, okay, I could do this, I could do that. So you're pulled into both directions. So the Nafs al-Ammar is saying, take the money, and the Nafs al-Lawwam is saying, but no, this is wrong, why should you do that? It belongs to someone else, etc., etc.
What do we call it? Nafs al-Ammara?
Nafs al-Ammara and Nafs al-Lawwama.
Lawwama is
Lawwama. Lawwama.
The evil one.
No, that's the good one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so nafs.
Ammara comes from Ammaratu bisu, the one that commands to evil. Ammara meaning the commanding soul. But it's short from Ammaratu bisu, the one that commands to evil. And Lawwama is from Lama yalumu, to blame, to sort of, to blame.
I'm being a bit more mathematical over here. So is it like when the evil whispers into our ears, is it like strengthening the weight of the Nafs al-Ammara so that the pull of Nafs al-Ammara becomes stronger and stronger? So is it like giving fuel to the Nafs al-Ammara so that we go towards of course we have the free will, and the shaitan is kind of fueling the Nafs al-Ammara so that we go towards that? Is it kind of like that? Is it okay? Yes, we
don't
do
think
have
of it like physics, that we have a scale and we're balancing, of course.
Yes,
but
yeah.
as I said, the fact of those choices, and where the shaitan's whispering comes in, as I said, it's many times with the introduction of those ideas of showing us new avenues of possibilities that we didn't even consider. So why is like the story of Adam alayhi salam in such a central role as a reminder? Because Adam didn't even consider going to eat from that tree. So Allah says, don't eat from that tree. Okay, whatever, it's just a tree. And then shaitan comes, but if this tree you eat, you would get this, you would get that. And suddenly all these options come into your mind. They were never there before. You never thought about these things. And so these options are introduced by shaitan to you that you never even considered before.
Okay.
Listen, like you said, we also call angels Malik, right?
Yeah.
But what is the difference with this Malik in Nas? Do you write it differently?
Yeah, it's just we have words that I have in English, bear and bear. It means different things. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's the sort of angel, why it goes back to that same root. I would have to look it up.
Okay.
What's the connection there? Of course, there's always some etymological connections there. So if after the class I can look up for you, inshallah.
And one more question, like you said you told us about Nafs al-Ammara, and there is also the Khannas, the shaitan who is whispering in our hearts. So how can we differentiate in between them?
That's right. Sometimes, as I said, we don't even realize it's coming from us. So we think it's so sneaky, the whisperings of shaitan. I think it's my own thoughts. It was my own idea, when in fact, it was coming from him. That's his main weapon, is that he's hidden, or he shows himself to you as a friend.
Okay.
He comes to you as someone who wants good for you. Like he came to, again, going back to the story of Adam, he came to Adam and presented himself as a friend. I want to help you. He just forbade you from eating from this tree because he didn't want you to have all these good things.
There is a story that he came in the shape of a snake.
I think that's from the Bible, isn't it? Yeah?
And there is also he came to the sons of Jacob in the shape of a man or something.
Sons of Jacob. Don't remember that one.
Okay.
And, you said that in the previous verse that Allah used to do enough that he whispers in such a slight way that even no one can hear it. But in the next verse, then it can be jinn and nas. So jinn can do that kind of whispering, but how can nas? Because my friend will definitely give me some ideas and I will.
Yeah, of course. Then it's there definitely will be something audible discussion, isn't it? But sometimes also those words can penetrate into your heart. He'll say something, he'll introduce some ideas, and it penetrates into your soul. It penetrates into your heart. It instills the seed of a doubt or some idea to do something evil. You never thought about it before, and it starts growing and growing, and then suddenly you notice yourself obsessed with that idea. Now I have to do that.
Could also.
Yeah.
It could also be those subliminal messages, indirect.
Let's not go into conspiracy.
No. Sometimes people do that. They try to give sow the seeds of some evil thought into.
They're expert manipulators.
Yes.
Like the one is described in Surah Al Falaq, isn't it? The ones who are so good at manipulating, it seems like magic.
Yes.
The way they manipulate people. Yeah,
No, here it doesn't say whispers. It says temptations.
Yeah.
So temptation can be from both humans and.
Because it's a whisper that's meant to tempt us to do something.
Yes.
So he's just translated the meaning of that whisper.
Yeah. And khannas means.
Because he puts temptation. So the idea.
And khannas means the one who returns.
The one who flees, the one who goes away, retreats. The one who retreats.
Okay.
Yeah, from khunus to retreat. Here sneaky. Yeah, of course, someone sneaky. If a burglar comes into your house and then you turn on the lights, he's gonna try to run away. He thought, okay, no one's home and I'm coming in. So he's sneaky. But the sneaky one is the one once you shine the light on them, they withdraw. So in the same way, the isti'adah is the shining of the light on that burglar. Oh, I've been caught, and he retreats. He realizes, okay, now he's on to me, so to speak. So he withdraws.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Then, they said that this comes and whispers to our ears. And then people, we are all born in different circumstances. And then if somebody is born in a place that has got very poor possibilities to hear anything, to learn anything good. For example, his family is not religious at all, and they are atheists or they are drug addicts, and all the neighborhood and everything, and he doesn't know about these good things. And then some person is born like, alhamdulillah, we are all lucky, we have a mosque where to go, and you have a religious family and like that, and you can find a way. Then what about this, and for this evil whispers in that other one? Yeah, and he has got no real choice because his circumstances are very bad. Then how is he then responsible for those, and how does God then punish this? Because it seems that they are in a very different positions.
Yeah. So of course everyone is judged individually and according to the extent of their knowledge and potentials. So if someone has, let's say, a mental incapacity, he's not going to be judged like someone who is fully capable mentally, and so on and so forth. Or if you cannot afford to go to Hajj, you won't be judged for not going to Hajj. Everyone is judged according to their capacities. So that's first and foremost. And then secondly, of course, there is always a choice, and there are some basic things that we all realize and understand is right and wrong. And those are inspired in our fitrah, and those are shared in humanity as moral values. We all know those things. So we can't make excuses based on our circumstances always. And then finally, of course, yes, there's a big responsibility that, of course, circumstances, upbringing, your opportunities, your social circumstances, these all affect, your capacity to do things. And that's, of course, that's why we have such a big responsibility as Muslims to work to build good societies, to build societies where people have those opportunities, have good opportunities, who can strive towards good, and make sure that everyone has the chance to be informed, to learn, and to not be forced because of, or forced or pressured because of their circumstances to evil action. So that's why so much of Islam is dedicated into how we should structure our societies and how we should behave ourselves as a society to
For example,
help people.
If you are, for example, your mother is very sick, is dying, and you don't have any money, and only way is that you can get help for her is that you steal something, for example. Then is it should you do it or not do it?
Of course, you don't justify wrong actions with. You don't justify good actions with wrong ones. So you can't, I can't. Okay, I'll go rob this money so I can save my mother. You can't use evil to justify something that's good. Whoever has taqwa, Allah will show a way out. And as we said, do the isti'adah. Read Sura Al Naas. Malik Nas is the Malik. Yes, I love my mother, but he belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I leave the affair to him. I have tawakkul that he, does what's right for her, and maybe it's her time to go. Certainly I can't justify, something wrong because I want to do something that's good. And yeah, what I had more in mind from your question is like if we have societies where people are taught wrong values. So nowadays, for example, people grow up in a society, they're never taught that, for example, zina is wrong, that marriage is good. That it's a concept that's alien to them. They don't even consider that this is something wrong. So, yes, they will still be judged according to some of the things that they know according to Allah. So even if you never consider that zina is wrong, you will still know that, for example, I can't rape someone, or I can't take advantage of someone who's, let's say, intoxicated, or something like that. These are some basic values. Anyways, even a non-Muslim will understand. And so they will be judged according to these values as well. So that's sort of more what I had in mind when I was answering the question. Do we have a responsibility then, of course, as Muslims, to build societies where people are taught these? There was this woman priest who I know on Facebook, and she wrote a while back on Facebook that why was I never told? Why did I have to learn from Muslims for the first time in my life that I can wait until marriage to have intimate relations with someone? Why did I have to go through this cycle of having boyfriends who break up with me and I get all this heartache and all these things? Why was I never taught that there's the option of waiting for marriage? Why did I have to learn from Muslims? So yeah, of course, these are the values that we have to try to teach society and teach them that actually this is good and this is why it's good, and give those options to people. So act in the opposite way of shaitan, and then he's trying to teach those evil options. We have the responsibility to teach those good options. Not like graffiti, we can't force them, but teach them, hey, this is the option. Did you know that there is an alternative lifestyle to that which you are leading? And it can lead to much more happiness and to much better life.
This waswas is being used, so definitely it's being used for the evil waswasa. But sometimes, like you said, that some waswasa is coming, but we are ignoring it, like we are considering that it's a normal thing and shaitan is putting the waswasa. But there's the opposite of it as well. That sometimes some people get too much waswasa, even for good. Like they are doing good things, but they then, is it wrong or something? For example, if
that's shaitan as well. That's shaitan as well, but now you're not realizing it. Yeah, that's why we have rulings from the manhaj. They say that, for example, some people have lots of waswasa when they're doing wudu, and it's supposed to have to do the second time, but then it's not allowed to do it 3 times. So then they get waswasa. Did I do it 2 times or 3 times? And then they start getting waswasa. So the scholars say that if you get this kind of waswasa, just do it once. And this is from shaitan. He's trying to bring doubts into your wudu, and distract you from your prayer in the middle of your prayer. So I'm like, oh my God, did I wash my hand 3 times or 2 times? And it's distracting you from the good, isn't it? So this is also an attack from shaitan, but we don't realize it. We think it's a waswasa for good, but in fact, it's shaitan. So he has different tools in his toolbox, isn't it? It's not, I always say here, like when we talk about our mosque programs, that we can't just say, okay, we just have mosque program, we just do dua and Jumu'ah prayers, and that's it. We come from Muharram and Ramadan and do these things. If we just do one track, shaitan is coming from every direction, up, down, bottom, left, right. we need to work as well with that. We need to make sure we're looking in all directions. We're looking at all the possible.
Sorry, I heard that Shaitan can come from four sides.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah, that's what I just
forward,
said. Yeah.
right and left, but not from up and down.
I don't know. Of course, these are metaphorical.
Because up is for pray, and down is I don't know. I don't remember.
Of course, this is metaphor. When we say from up, down, left, right, you know.
Four sides from four
Yeah.
sides.
When we say this
not
four
from
sides, it's
up
all
and down.
metaphorical, isn't it? So the meaning that we don't. He doesn't just whisper, as we said, just go kill someone, go kill someone. And that's not the only whisper of Shaitan. We think that he's only inspired me to go, murder or steal or start a war with someone. No, it can be as simple as making Westwood said, did you do 3 times with the word twice? Westwood said that, I shouldn't go to the mosque. People will think I'm doing riyah, that I'm showing off, or anything. It can be so varied and in so multiple ways, and it is. It's in all different directions. Him and his army. So it is literally an army. It's not, and it's an army that's trying to surround us. So we have to be careful in that way, and we can't just say that. Okay, I just do one thing. No, I have to do all the things. That's why Islam is an encompassing way of life as well. I do my prayers and I do my fasting and private things, but then also have other things as well. I have to engage in all the other ways in society and with other people and so on. Okay.
Abbas, she wants to say Bismillah. Bismillah. Abbas, هذا السؤال كم بيقول بسم الله.
بگو تو که گفتی بلدم. بگو.
بسم الله. بسم الله. الرحمن الرحيم.
گفتی؟ صلوات محمد. آفرین. بعدش بیا دفترم یه جایزه واسط بدم. باشه؟ خوبه؟ Okay. We're so short on time. How do you guys feel? Do you want to stop or we do adiyat bit or extra? Okay.
This is Shaitan.